My friends, it's been a week since I have filmed a video. I had a weird week. I had some health problems that freaked me out. I had to stay in bed all day. And for the first time in a long time, I actually didn't think about work. And now I feel so fresh. I feel so excited to do this. I'm really excited about this video. The sun is out. This is natural light for the first time in months. Guys, I'm filming a video with natural light. Can you believe it? Anyways, I wanted to come back to something I loved. And something that would be fun and comfort food for me after a hard time. Let me explain studios! Kermit, it is not your time yet. Let me explain studios. These are always some of the most fun, comforting, enjoyable times. After being reminded of my illness and having to deal with that for a bit, I'm just trying to have some fun, people. So here we are. We're going to look at more classic Let Me Explain Studios videos that I have not yet seen. I've already got some great ones that I'm looking at right now. You think I'm stupid? Bitten while defending a friend. We already know these stories are gonna be slappers. So let's do it. And you know what, guys? Let's start it off short and stupid. Like me. You think I'm stupid? Exaggerated comedic rant. Again, me. This video is literally me. Okay, let's go, people.
There are a handful of things in this world that just instantly make me mad, like turn my mood from happy, bubbly, sunshiny to sociopath killer on a dime. One of them being when someone tells me something obvious in a serious way, like they're trying to help.
Mansplaining is what she's saying. Which, hey, there are plenty of non-male individuals who talk to you like a dingus.
Oh, let me lead the way so we don't get lost, huh? Hold hands now.
Everyone is susceptible, so I don't know why we gotta call it mansplaining. Anyways, I'm mansplaining why I don't like the term mansplaining.
For example, if I casually tell someone that I need to go get my car's tank filled up, and they look at me and say, "You know, Becca, you can get gasoline at a gas station."
What?
Really, dude? Like,
what?
Really? You think I didn't know that?
What?
Did I give any indication that I didn't know where to get gasoline? I mean, do you actually think I'm that stupid? Who the hell are you to insinuate that I'm that ignorant?
I didn't think that the examples were gonna be that stupid. I thought it would be like slightly obvious information, not like fundamental human experience levels of obvious. It's like someone's like, hey, what's your favorite color? Oh, my favorite color is blue. Well, you know, actually, the sky is blue. That's the level of obvious that we're dealing with here.
Ew, Becca, you can get gas at a gas station. No freaking kidding, Sherlock. Next, you'll tell me that water is wet, you impertinent little dipstick. You might think I'm kidding, but I would be less insulted if you just walked right up to me and called me stupid to my face. It's like, I don't care. You don't know me. Your opinion's meaningless. But genuinely, not jokingly, genuinely tell me something that insinuates that I didn't know an incredibly common fact. And you need to step back a few paces because my right hook is lethal under the right circumstances. And of course, this can vary to different degrees because one time someone asked me if I like Star Wars, and I said, yeah, Rey and BB-8, they're the best.
Ooh.
And this person gave me a look and said, well, there are other Star Wars movies.
Oh, no. Well, that's a different context that's a different context. They aren't assuming that you don't, unless they actually are assuming you don't know, but they're offended that your favorite Star Wars movies are the new ones. That's the problem here. This is what we call a gatekeeper, ladies and jellyfish. This person wants people to only like the one that's cool to like. All the normies watch the new ones. If you're a real blah, 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 then you like the blah, blah, blah. You know, idiots! Idiots!
Why do people do this? This has happened to me so many times in my life that I felt the need to make a cartoon about it. Though I hope this is not some insight to how people actually view me and my level of intelligence. I gotta know, guys, am I the only one? And if this does happen to you, does it not infuriate you?
Honestly, I don't think I guess sometimes. If a person talks to me like that, like I'm stupid, and does any kind of that like, oh, little Robert, you know, nope, you're stupid. I say stupid things all the time. Look at my YouTube channel. But also, I kinda know what I'm talking about. Look at my YouTube channel. If someone genuinely talks to me like I'm stupid, I just know that they have made judgments on me after not knowing me whatsoever. And yeah, it's just like, okay, all right, on to the next person, human being that I plan to speak to. No need to speak to you anymore. If you think I'm stupid, if you know, are gonna talk down to me, like, nope. Nope. Okay, that was our warm-up. Let's jump into it. Bitten while defending a friend. Here is the real story. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers,
That's
my little
me.
oodle lollies, Rebecca Parham here. Throughout my young life, I've had a handful of noteworthy, people who habitually seek out to harm or intimidate those whom they perceive as vulnerable. Oh, sorry. YouTube now demonetizes the B word, and I don't mean Beetlejuice.
Boo.
Beetlejuice.
Oh,
At my
okay.
preparatory school, pretty much most of my classmates didn't like me and picked on me from time to time, but a few of them made it a more regular thing.
There you go. In case anyone's not catching it, there you go. That's actually very cautious about not even saying that word in a YouTube video. I'm honestly extra cautious for the same reason. That's why I say Draco. That's why I say things like Draco.
Don't pull out the Draco.
Don't pull out no gun now. All right.
Because I just am like, I don't know YouTube's system. I don't know what words they're secretly hiding videos with, you know what I mean?
One such individual was a girl that we'll call Millie. She was a troubled young soul, little on the mad side. Had difficulty understanding why people got upset when she punched them.
Wow.
Oh, come on, we were just having fun. To be fair, I wasn't her only target. She was an equal opportunity irritant. She tormented girls, boys, big kids, small kids, kids that climb on rocks, everyone. And she did everything from cheap insults to stealing to physical violence. When you're young, adults tell you to stand up to kids like her, defend the innocent, be a hero, do the right thing. What they don't tell you is that sometimes doing the right thing still gets you in trouble. Millie, I know you're probably out there growing up in a better person, but I'm using you as an example. On with the show.
Oh my gosh. Really? That's optimistic, Rebecca. Do people like that actually get better? Can you actually be that much of a bad person and get better? I mean, I guess there are people who have like really rough childhoods and they take it out on other people and then they grow up out of that and they're separated from that environment. But like to that degree, I don't know. I wouldn't have a lot of faith in her.
It was 6th grade when Millie and I had our little incident. That year we had gotten a brand new kid we'll call Greg. Greg was a troubled soul too. He had a very poor family life, all of the kids in the class relentlessly picked on him, and he often retaliated not with his words, but his fist. He hated everyone and everyone hated him. Well, except me. Seeing how he was a fellow social outcast, I couldn't bring myself to be mean to him. And in turn, he was never mean to me. You could even say we were friendly for a while. Now at this tiny school, we didn't have a cafeteria, we all ate in the gym. So one lunchtime, Greg and I were sitting on the bleachers eating and talking.
The gym? Everyone eats in the gym? On the bleachers? That, I've never seen that. Everyone eats at the gym. How old were you? That just seems like so many messes and then slip and falls waiting to happen. You have a banana for lunch. All of a sudden, the indoor soccer team taking a little tumble. Ronald's out for the season. You know what I'm saying?
Now when Greg wasn't pummeling the kids who made fun of him, he kept a journal. Probably should have been his first choice for emotional expression, but hey, I'm no psychologist. And this day, he had his journal sitting out next to him on the bleachers. As we talked, Millie came over. You remember her. She stood there chatting with us until she spied Greg's journal. Ooh, what's this? Don't touch it, it's my journal. A journal? Come on, let's see it.
No.
In a flash,
no.
Millie snatched the book out of his hands and ran off with it.
No!
Greg gave chase, and to escape him, Millie ran into the girls' locker room.
Now
By
it's
the
up
time
to
I
you.
caught up with the two, Greg was standing just outside the locker room. Millie was standing just inside with the door open.
It's up
and
to
she
you,
was
Rebecca.
reading from his journal out loud to the other girls
You are the
inside,
chosen one.
knowing full well he couldn't go in to stop her. And remember, Greg was a troubled kid. There might have been some really heavy stuff in that
Rebecca.
journal that she was about to spill everywhere. I saw all of this unfolding in front of me, and I knew I had to
Get
do
in
something.
there.
This was not right. Time to stand up, as the
Go!
adults say. So I ran into the locker room and began tussling with Millie for the journal. No one was getting hurt, mind you, just a lot of pulling and shuffling. But tug of war quickly escalated into war. Give you 3 guesses who took it too far.
Okay, you want 3 guesses. Okay. 1, Millie. Could be Millie. 2, Millie, probably. And then 3, I gotta throw Millie in there. Yeah, those are my guesses as to who took it too far.
We struggled for about 10 seconds before it happened. The next thing I knew, she grabbed my wrist and bit down as hard as she could. I screamed full voice and let go of the journal. When she finally let go of me, I looked down at my wrist to see a perfectly gruesome bite in my skin. And it was pretty gnarly looking too, those serrated indentions, it was already starting to bruise. And it was slobbery. Thankfully, she didn't break the skin because listen, human bites are nothing to sneeze at. Do a Google search. Mayo Clinic says to seek emergency care if the skin is broken.
What? So human bites are just like animal bites? We just don't do them? Is that true? Is it the same level of like infection and like things that you can get from that? Wow, so animals really just need to learn. Just be like us. Don't bite people, you know? It could be so simple. But anyways, that's where the title of this video came from.
Apparently, we all have Komodo dragon mouths full of dangerous bacteria. Actually, that kind of makes you rethink kissing. You bit me! You actually bit me! What the hell is wrong with you? You're insane! I'm going to the nurse! Suddenly, Millie wasn't so concerned about Greg and his journal anymore. I marched right to the nurse's office, with Millie behind me trying to convince me not to go. When I showed the nurse the bite, she disinfected it and called the principal.
Good.
We both got sent to his office. I told him my story, but when it was Millie's turn to tell hers, she actually had the gall to say, "When she put her arm across my back, I couldn't breathe. She was about to suffocate me. So you see, I had no choice but to bite her." Objection, Your Honor?
Objection!
That's not how the human body works? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything in that moment because it wasn't my turn to talk.
The Ace Attorney reference. I'm in.
And honestly, I was getting a little freaked out because the principal was acting like I was just as guilty as Millie. I don't know if he honestly believed her lies, but he listened to our stories and said, "Well, because both of you were horseplaying in the bathroom, you're both in trouble." Horseplay? I'll be calling your parents today. Rebecca, you'll be getting 5 demerits. And Millie, normally I'd give you 5 as well. But because this is the second time I've seen you in my office this year, you'll be getting 10.
This year? You'd think she would be there way more.
I have several objections. Let's get this straight. My crime, my punishable offense, was getting bitten while defending another kid. And the person who bit me would have gotten the exact same punishment as me if it hadn't been her second offense. Excuse me, who hurt you? Yeah, sure, maybe
Probably
I could have
Millie.
politely asked the little sadist for the journal back. Like she'd actually give it back. But I don't care who you are. There is a very big difference between tug of war to get stolen property back and a full-blown bite that could have potentially ended in a hospital trip. Lord help us, Becca's angry.
Yeah, reasonably so. I cannot... See, as an adult, it's like a different situation. When you're a kid, you don't know how to react to that. If an adult bit me, immediate elbow to the, like, I will knock them out. Like, it's not a question. You can't do that. But I guess life as a kid is just different.
Even as outrageous as it all was, I was beside myself. All I could think about in that moment was that I was in trouble. I was supposed to be the good kid, the peacekeeper, the clean record. 5 demerits, and he's calling my parents? They only do that for the bad kids. Am I a bad kid now? No. Mom and Dad are gonna be so mad at me. He sent us back to class, and for the rest of the day, I was a nervous wreck, dreading the sound of that final bell. For sure, the principal had called Mom, and the moment I set foot in her car, I was a goner. Well, the end of the day came, and I solemnly walked to my mom's car. It felt like I was walking to my own execution. I got in and silently awaited my fate. Hey, sweetie, we're gonna be here a little bit longer. We're waiting on your sister to get out of basketball practice.
She doesn't know? She doesn't know?
That's it? No screaming? No lecture? No punishment? She's not even gonna bring it up? I was a tad confused.
They just booty cheeks, man.
Wait a minute. She didn't get a call from the principal. She doesn't know what happened. Well, that's not right. She needs to know.
No!
Or I got this bite on my arm for nothing.
Oh, true!
Look what Millie did to me. Oh,
Bruh.
no.
Let's go! Break it down!
Explain yourself, knave!
True, that was probably a very good way to start that conversation. Knowing me, do you know the way I would have done it? I would have completely sabotaged myself. I would have said, Mom, so I unfortunately have some bad news. I got sent to the principal's office. I would have led with that. Why? Why would I do that? That's so stupid. I self-sabotage myself. When I open up, I always say the thing that makes me look the worst first. I don't know why I do it, but Rebecca did it right.
We were in that principal's office for a good half hour, and Mom calmly explained over and over and over again the absurdity of it all. How backwards it is to punish a child for essentially being assaulted, especially while defending another child. And here I was terrified that she was gonna be mad at me. By the end of it, she couldn't convince the principal to remove the 5 demerits, but it almost didn't matter anymore. I had done what's right. I stood up for what I believed in. And the people that mattered knew it. It may come with consequences, but doing good is its own reward.
All right, so what was in the journal, though? I want to know what was in the journal. I don't have to know what's in the journal. It's his business. It ain't ours. It's not our business. That's fine. But I can't be the only one who was thinking when the journal got opened that we would hear something real juicy from that. I can't be the only person who thought we were gonna get a juicy journal entry. But that's okay. Hey, privacy is also important as well.
And after that day, Millie backed off and rarely bothered me or Greg ever again.
Good.
Just goes to show what can come from one act of bravery.
But speaking of juicy stories, that was one. And no, I ain't talking about the juice from her arm. That's not what I meant personally. But that was a classic. Another instance of Rebecca somehow just being around the worst people ever. Like, how have you not become a completely cynical human being after dealing with so many awful people growing up? I don't know, but if someone can do it, Rebecca can. All right, this one really excites me, this title. Slumber parties are witch gatherings. Bro, I don't know if there's anything more fun when you're a kid than like a party sleepover. I don't think there's anything more fun as a kid. For guys though, it's just video games all night. Slumber parties, can't say I was ever in a female-centered slumber party. So let's hear the tea, sis. This is gonna be a very fun adventure. 3, 2, 1. This video contains strobing, flashing lights that may cause discomfort for some viewers. Okay, warning, the warning is there. Whoa. Oh, those are the flashing lights. Okay. Wow. This is dark. Rebecca! How are you gonna...
Slumber parties. When I was a kid, slumber
How are you
parties
gonna
were
do that?
marketed to us like these sacred rituals of girlhood. A strange and mysterious rite of passage that all girls do. If there was a cartoon on TV that featured girls, there would always be a slumber party episode. And as a kid, I was fascinated by the concept. This Hollywood portrayal of what girls do when they band together in the dead of night. And don't get me wrong, I saw the hyper-girliness of it all. Makeovers, boys, an excessive amount of giggling. But that was just the surface level. There was something else between the lines that felt mischievous. Wicked, even.
Whoa.
But it wasn't really until adulthood that I finally figured out why. Tell me something. When you think of those time-honored traditional slumber party activities, which ones come to mind? Perhaps the game where you stand in front of a mirror and summon an evil spirit?
Whoa.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
We already got a jump scare, no more. Rebecca, are we making this video like spooky? Are we doing some spooky in this video? Is that what we're doing? When I think of slumber parties, I think of them doing that. What's it called? What are these things called? I wanna make one. I wanna make one in a video. You know, guys, if I do this, you know what I'm talking about, right? Those aren't obsolete now that we have phones, right?
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Paper fortune teller! There you go! A paper fortune teller. Cootie catcher. Do I remember that name? Do I remember that name being said? Ugh, what a terrible name. Cootie cat. I feel weird as an adult typing this into Google. This is where you do this. I bet Rebecca's gonna say it in like 5 seconds and my whole search will be for nothing. Pick a color, yellow, Y-E-L-L-O-W. Okay, now pick a number, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you open it up and you get the secret message. It tells your fortune and it's way cooler than this is making it look.
Or is it the eloquent folding of paper to reveal the future? And the fortune teller says, yes, you will be an author.
Oh, not even 3 seconds later! Not even 3 seconds later! And she would have just said it. Ugh! It's okay, Robert. These things happen. These things happen.
Maybe it's the homemade potions you put on your face to make yourself more beautiful. And then a spoonful of honey and a dash of ginger. Or perhaps it's performing levitation.
Whoa.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Whoa.
Now, doesn't
That's real.
all of this sound like witchcraft? I am pretty much convinced there's a weird parallel between slumber parties and witch gatherings. To me, there's just a few too many occult themes hidden amongst the hair braiding and the pillow fights. Ghost, for example. They tend to come up as a common theme at slumber parties, sometimes as ghost stories or scary movies. Now, my regulars on this channel know that I have an affinity for the idea of spectrals and spirits, but my mega fans know that there's one spooky device that I will not touch, and that would be a Ouija board. You won't find me playing with one of these things, even as commonplace as they are at slumber parties. Is there someone here with us? Nothing more girly than opening up a door to the spirit world and provoking whatever's on the other side.
Yeah, is the fact that I didn't ever have slumber parties, is that why I've never cared about like haunted, mysterious videos and stuff? I just have never had any interest in like, we found a ghost in blah, blah, blah. There's a ghost in my house. That, I just had never had any interest in that whatsoever. Is it because I didn't do witchcraft parties or something?
Bloody Mary is a very popular way of doing this too. Most of us have heard of this classic childhood test of courage. It has many variations, but the basic idea is this. You get yourself a good old candle or flashlight, you stand in front of a mirror in the dark, you say Bloody Mary 3 times, and bada bing bada boom, you got yourself a vengeful spirit in the mirror that may or may not kill you. Fun for the whole family. Now, if you actually see something in the mirror, what's most likely happening is a thing called pareidolia, where your brain tries to fill in the gaps when given a vague stimulus. It's hard to see in the dim lighting, so your brain tries to piece together something familiar.
Whoa.
It's why people see faces in potato chips, and why that cloud looks like a duck.
Yeah. Include that. I would never play a game like that. Even though, yeah, I don't care about the ghosts and the spirit stuff, like that doesn't interest me. Still, it's just like, why chance it, right? Why take a chance? So, I'll never play a game like that. Even though I'm like, guys, there's a 0.0000001% chance that this is actually gonna result in anything happening. But you know what? I don't get any joy out of taking that chance. So nah, I'm good. I'm good.
We girls also like to practice our fair share of fortune telling at slumber parties.
Whoa.
We have many devices to do so. Paper fortune tellers, that we used to call cootie catchers when I was a kid, magic 8 balls, the game MASH, which if you didn't know stands for mansion, apartment, shack, or house, and even the
Whoa.
more modern game of Charlie Charlie is a take on a pretty old Spanish paper and pencil game called Juego de la Lapicera,
Ooh,
also
Juego de
played
la
by
Lapicera.
generations of girls trying to predict the future. Though I fully admit that despite my best efforts as a kid, I don't have much clairvoyance. Never really saw the whole single workaholic YouTuber thing coming. Speaking of creepy old traditions meant for kids, I know most of us internet-dwelling mole people are aware of the supposedly dark origins of archaic rhymes like Ring Around the Rosie and Mary Mary Quite Contrary. But my personal favorite straight up slaps you in the face with brutality. No pocket full of posies poetic imagery here. I'm talking about the Lizzie Borden skip rope rhyme. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks.
What?
When she saw what she had done, gave her father 41.
Wow.
Now let's just contextualize this for a moment here. This would be like somebody making up a cheery little kid song about the Manson murders.
I've never heard that rhyme ever. Yeah, I'm starting to see where you're coming from on this whole witchcraft thing, Rebecca.
40 whacks.
40 lashes? We'll probably get 40 lashes.
Oh no!
And they say we're the twisted generation. So I can't make a video about the creepy things little girls do without mentioning our iconic toy, the doll.
Jesus! My fitness watch decided to buzz. Not the time! Guys, give this video a like and let me know in the comments if you want me to bring back I Am a Wimp. Because clearly, I am a wimp. And maybe we should continue this series. Give this video a like if you think we should return to that.
So I can't make a video about the creepy things little girls do without mentioning our iconic toy, the doll. You know, the one toy that has documented cases of demonic possession.
Oh my gosh.
And who else has dolls? Witches.
Rebecca,
Witches have been using dolls
I'm
called
vulnerable.
puppets for centuries. They're made of a lot of natural materials like carved root, potatoes, cloth, branches, and they're used to cast spells on people. Now, admittedly, little girls at slumber parties don't normally use their dolls for the dark arts. But these things do have a tendency to make us feel uneasy sometimes, especially when they're in groups. And I think a lot of that has to do with the uncanny valley, in which an observer is more repulsed by an inanimate object the closer it resembles a human being.
True.
Just bear in mind, that's what little girls have been raised on for centuries. The last occult slumber party game that—
Okay, we're moving on from that segment? Are we? Good. Good, I'm happy to hear that. I think I figured out the title for this video. Let Me Explain Studios legitimately scared me. I think I got the title.
The last occult slumber party game that I want to talk about is one that I never actually got to do. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. This is the game where you supposedly make a member of your witch party levitate off the ground.
Whoa.
One girl lies on her back while everyone else gathers around and puts 1 or 2 fingers from each hand underneath her. Everyone chants light as a feather, stiff as a board several times and then counts to 3. And on 3, everyone is able to lift her up relatively effortlessly with just their fingers, as though she were practically weightless. But do be careful with this spell, young witches. In the event you should drop your levitating friend, your powers won't be advanced enough to heal a fractured spine. Now, what's actually happening in this circumstance is simple science. With everyone lifting on
Weight
3, the weight
distribution.
is evenly distributed, and fingers are a lot stronger than we give them credit for. Myth busted. I think I've made a pretty good case for the idea that we ladies have all secretly been raised as witches. But you know what? We live in modern times. Everyone can be witches and have whatever kind of slumber party they want.
Yay.
Play the spooky witch games or have a last gamer standing smash tournament. Discuss
Yay.
anime, work on a fursuit. Who cares? No rules.
Man, I wish I could look at life with this much wonder. All right, it is getting dark outside, guys. This is what happens when you use actual natural light for the first time in a long time. I guess adult slumber parties are weird, aren't they? Yeah, I haven't had one. I mean, haven't had one. I guess in university, I don't know, because in university, me and my homies, we'd still go back to our own places for the night. I guess when you're an adult, it's just not convenient. Like, people will crash at their friend's place. But like, yeah, like a planned event where it's like, we're gonna like eat food and play video games and do whatever at like 2, 3, 4 a.m. and then just fall asleep at some point in weird places. Yeah, that's not something adults really do in my experience.
Who cares? No rules. Just what makes you and your friends happy as long as no one's getting hurt. For real, I don't want to get a letter from a lawyer because one of you dropped someone playing light as a feather, got it? Lawyers
Got
use
it.
some real dark magic.
All right, that was a blast. I want to end it off with one more, just quick one. Just a quick one, okay? Because I want this video to be a classic. And so let's end with another short and sweet one that I think is a very goofy concept.
Disney street performers pick on me! Yeah!
Okay, yeah, you want your moment now, buddy? You want your moment?
Yeah, I think I would, actually. Could I have my, moment real quick?
Well, as a thank you for doing absolutely nothing, I will grant you that wish, Kermit.
Well, I, don't know what that's supposed to mean, but, okay, let's do it. Kermit the Frog going to watch some Rebecca Parham. And guess what, Robert? Unlike you, I said the name right the first time!
Okay, Okay, that's too far. That's too far. You only know how to say her name properly because you saw it in my videos.
Nope, that's not true. I don't watch your videos.
Cap. That's Cap.
Well, if I'm not in them, why would I care?
Well, Kermit, over 100,000 people are also not in the video and they care enough to watch it.
Well, I'm not like other girls. Yeah!
All right, guys, let's just close it off.
So if you've been to Disney World or Disneyland like 2 times, you're familiar with Disney street performers.
Yeah.
Or Streetmosphere, as I understand it's now being called. Now, I'm not talking about the face characters of the furries, that's a category all its own. I'm talking about the citizens of Main Street, the citizens of Hollywood, and any other act that you find playing out on the streets of a Disney park.
Oh yeah, of course.
Now, I happen to come from a Disney-loving family, so much so that I've lost track of how many times I've been to Disney World. I've been around the Buena Vista block.
Didn't feel like animating this part, I guess?
I guess she just didn't feel like animating this part. Or did her videos used to just cut back and forth between real life and animation? I've never seen her do this. Anyways, do your thing.
And trust me when I say, I love Disney street performers. If we're walking down Main Street at Magic Kingdom and I hear the dulcet tones of the Dapper Dans, the day is officially put on hold.
Of course.
I don't care if Space Mountain has a 20-minute wait. Dapper Dans are singing Grim Grinning Ghosts, and it ain't even Halloween season.
Oh, let me tell you, Robert, if the Dapper Dans are doing their dappity-doo, Kermit the Frog is there.
Oh, you really like the Dapper Dans, do you?
I like them so much that I have definitely heard of them before today.
Okay, now you're just giving yourself away, Kermit. You're just revealing your cap to the world. You're literally taking your cap off of your head and saying, SeaWorld, this is my cap. And you're okay with just doing that?
Well, what they don't know can't hurt them.
Well, they literally do know. That's the whole point. Never mind.
Part of the gimmick of Disney Streetmosphere is audience participation, pulling some poor schmuck from the audience to half-heartedly participate in the shenanigans. And the moment I roll up to the party, I'm a blip on these guys' radar. They all simultaneously feel a disturbance in the force and look at each other like, the sacrificial lamb has arrived. I'm a target for 2 reasons. 1, I'm a theater brat and performers can smell each other from a mile away. And 2, I'm the idiot in the crowd that actually looks like they're having a good time. Big old dopey grin. So basically, I look like I can take it. Pull me from the crowd and I'm not gonna make a harassment claim. Added bonus, sometimes I make the act better. Case in point, one time a couple years ago, I was at the Magic Kingdom and I was just farting around on Main Street. I got some ice cream and noticed that the citizens of Main Street were out and about. Now, the reoccurring characters on Main Street are the Dapper Dans, the Fire Chief,
yeah, my
and
favorites.
at least 2 older suffragette-style ladies. There might be more characters, I'm not sure. And they were all out singing songs with a 4-piece brass band behind them.
I was there.
I stood up close to the front and I'm enjoying my ice cream and the show. Then suddenly, they all start singing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, and you know me. I start singing right along with them, even bouncing up and down on my toes a little bit, like a dork. And as they end a chorus, the Fire Chief and I make eye contact. There was a very decisive look that came across his face. He pointed at me and said, "Do you know the first verse?"
Oh, I do. I know the first, second, and third verse.
Okay, then let me hear it.
You hear what?
Some of the song. You pretend to be into the Dapper Dans. Now, time to put your money where your mouth is. Sing the song.
I think, the song at the start goes something like, it was like this.
Do you know the first verse? A little stunned by the question, I said, yeah? And he said, "Come here, you're singing it." Before I knew it, he grabbed my hand and pulled me up in front of everybody to sing the first verse of this song. Now, most people would lock up, shrink away, have a bad case of performance anxiety.
But not me.
But this...
I'm the best.
This was it. My time had come. And I sang that first verse like the ostentatious little attention-starved theater kid that I am. Ice cream and all. The audience loved it, and I was even getting some surprised smiles from the other performers. And after they were done with their show, I went up to them and I told them thank you so much for such a great time. And they were very complimentary and sweet. And even the Fire Chief leaned in surreptitiously and asked me, "Do you work here?"
Hey, Why?
I told him-
Are you secretly doing a performance report on all of us? So let's keep it real. This video is a little bit of a flex. A little bit of a flex. A little bit of a reflexiparum here. But hey, I feel you. I feel you. It has happened a couple times in my life where there's like a karaoke that I'm near and then I jump up and then I just like go all in. And people are like, oh, I didn't expect that guy to just go all in. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I love to perform. I just never do it. So it's like, yeah, there are random moments where it's like, oh yeah. It's kind of weird where it's like you get elected to like do a little social thing and it's like, well, okay, all right, you wanted me to do this. Okay, here we go. And you transform from just an introverted weird person to just like, well, an extroverted weird person, basically.
I told him I've been to Disney World so many times that I might as well.
Well, don't litter then.
You know what I think?
What do you think, Kermit?
I think that, I need to go rehearse.
Rehearse for what?
Well, for my audition to be in the Dancing Dalvins.
What? What did you just say?
I'm gonna be in the Dancing Dalvins.
What? That's not what they were called.
Well, how do you know that?
Kermit, stop gaslighting me. Stop it. You're out of here. People, what can I say? Another classic. Loved it. So much fun. Go subscribe to Let Me Explain Studios if you have not done so yet. Rebecca did all the hard work on these videos. I was just the boy being silly. Here's the full playlist of Let Me Explain Studios videos we have looked at. If you have not seen all of these videos, make sure you watch them. There's so much more fun to be had. Or here's a video that YouTube thinks you will like in particular. Have a great day. You're great. Peace.